Hey, you guys. I'm sorry, I am about 20 minutes late. I had a call that went really long before jumping on. So today we're going to talk about women's health and hormones, which I'm really excited to talk with you guys about this because this is something that women of all ages suffer with and can just have some really significant symptoms that are not so pleasant from. So I want to really just dive right into why this affects almost all women. It's due to a few things. So there are a few things that kind of can make our hormone health off balance or out of balance. Poor diet, and we'll talk more about this. Lack of physical activity, not moving our body enough and getting enough physical activity. And then also stress. So stress is probably the number one thing that causes just a host of, you name it, medical issues. Not only physical stress, but also emotional stress. So just kind of be thinking, examining your life, where might you have some of these issues? How's your diet? How's your activity? And how's your stress level? So I want you to kind of rate yourself as we go through this. Now, let's talk about some symptoms of hormone imbalance. So some symptoms of hormone imbalance, and I'll just bet that most of you can relate to many of these as I can. Fatigue. How many of you feel tired? And this is not like after you've done something and had like just a really hard day, but this is kind of like, I'm just tired all throughout the day, and you're kind of feeling like, what's wrong with me? Why don't I have the energy that I want? That can be a hormone issue. Irregular sleep patterns, and we'll talk more about sleep. Sleep is crucial, especially to hormone health. Excessive cravings. We know this as women, right? We crave certain things, certain times of the month, especially sugar, chocolate, that kind of stuff. Decreased libido can be a sign of hormone imbalance. Feeling really anxious or having feelings of depression and just, feeling down. Weight gain or weight loss actually can be a sign of hormone imbalance. Now, the weight loss is typically more if we have a thyroid issue, because our thyroid produces hormones as well and controls our metabolism. Hair loss can be a sign of hormone issues. And then also constipation can actually be a sign of imbalanced hormones. So where do our hormones come from? Just kind of a little brief, just so you understand what we're talking about here when we go through how to correct the issues. So our hormones come from areas in our brain, they're controlled by the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. And they're produced by not just our ovaries, but also our adrenal glands. Our adrenal glands are what produce cortisol and produce adrenaline. We have a gland called the pineal gland, and it produces melatonin, which is what helps you get a good night's rest. And then the thyroid gland. The thyroid obviously controls your metabolism and can really cause some of those weight fluctuations based on if the thyroid levels are high or low. Okay, so I want you to, when we think about hormones, I want you to think of hormones as a messenger and communication system. So that basically they travel throughout the body, throughout the bloodstream, to the tissues, to the organs, and they basically send signals to different areas of the body to tell the body what to do and how to perform. So naturally, we want to have a very even balance, good balance of these hormones so that our body functions at a high level and so that we feel energetic, so that we don't have those symptoms that I just mentioned at the beginning. Now, this is a delicate balance between mainly three hormones: estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. But I really want to focus on estrogen today. So, and that's your dominant hormone. So estrogen, there are actually three types of estrogen. There's natural estrogen, and this is just what your body produces in small amounts, and it's good. We need that. And then there is an estrogen called phytoestrogen, and this is a plant-based form of estrogen. and it helps to regulate our estrogen levels. So that can come from some foods, and I'll talk about a supplement in just a little bit that we can take that is that good phytoestrogen, good form of estrogen. But then there's a bad form of estrogen too, that all of us, because of the world that we live in, have in our bodies. And they're called xenoestrogens. And they're basically like these chemicals and toxins that get in our body from what we eat, from the environment, from our personal care products, what we put on our body. And these chemicals and toxins mimic estrogen. And so they start to control all of these functions that our estrogen and hormones normally control. And so that's when we get the symptoms. They control these things in a bad way. So we don't want these xenoestrogens. We want to do everything that we can to eliminate these xenoestrogens or false, fake estrogens from the body. And I'll tell you how to do that in just a little bit. Okay, so if we can think of the body as kind of, and hormones as kind of a whole, and we need to just really restore balance, because remember, the hormones are circulating through the bloodstream, going to the organs, telling them what to do and how to perform. So the first thing is diet. And I know that we talk a lot about this, but you guys, food is medicine. Food can be medicine if you're eating the right foods. So eating a diet that is mainly plant-based, that is 80% plant-based, is ideal. Not that you should not have meat. I eat meat. I'm totally not against, as long as it agrees with your body. Then you just want to make sure that you have high quality meat. So you want to make sure that you're having grass-fed beef, something that was not fed a bunch of grains and hormones and given antibiotics, that kind of thing. And free-range organic chicken. I mean, those, and also I should say wild-caught fish. So those would kind of be your main three, probably types of meat. Now, also in terms of things like bacon, it is very common. Everybody likes bacon, right? But you want to make sure that you get an uncured and a nitrate-free bacon. So this is, by doing these things and just making these small changes, what we're doing is we're eliminating more and more of those toxins and chemicals and things that just wreak havoc on our hormones. So it's just, the little steps. Maybe you start with, I'm going to just start buying grass-fed beef. That's a great place to start. And then you just slowly add to and change up the things that you are putting in your shopping cart. Okay, as many whole foods as possible. So, you just want to think, was it grown in the ground or does it come from a box? We want to avoid those processed foods that come from a box. Now, in this world, are you going to be perfect and never eat from a box or from a drive-thru? No, probably not. Most people are not. But don't beat up on yourself. Give yourself a little bit of grace. It's not about being perfect. It's just about progress. So it's not perfection, it's just progress. And that is what gets you to the goal and to a healthier state overall, you and your family. Now, organic. A lot of people have questions about, should I eat everything? Sorry, y'all. I'm afraid my phone's gonna fall. Let me correct that. Okay. About, should I eat organic? If you can buy organic, produce, fruits and vegetables, then yes, that is ideal, especially if it's something that you're going to eat the skin of. But the thing that I like to use kind of as a guide is a list put out by the Environmental Working Group, the EWG, and it's called the Clean 15 and the Dirty Dozen. And so the Clean 15 is a list of 15 produce items that are the least sprayed with pesticides, okay? So that means that you could buy those conventional or non-organic. And then the Dirty Dozen are the 12 items that are the most heavily sprayed with pesticides that you really want to always buy organic if you can. because especially again, if you're things like strawberries and grapes are on the list. So, you just want to make sure, because we're eating the flesh of those and they're more heavily sprayed with pesticides, that you want to get organic for those. So if you just Google Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen, then you can actually just keep that. I keep a picture of it on my phone because I don't have them all memorized. So if I'm ever in the grocery store and I'm looking through, I'm like, okay, can I buy this conventional or does it really need to be organic? So use that as your guide as you're shopping. Okay, the next thing is healthy fats. And I'll talk more about my favorite supplement for this in just a little bit, but healthy fats are key to hormone balance. You have to have healthy fats. I'm not talking about hydrogenated fats. I'm not talking about bad fats. I'm talking things like the ways that you can get healthy fats into your diet other than a supplement. Oh, this phone is going to drive me nuts. Okay. Let's just hope it doesn't fall and crash. Okay. So the ways that you can get healthy fats into your diet, using coconut oil, olive oil, nuts, avocado, salmon, all of those things provide really healthy fats. The key here is, though, that we typically don't get enough of those foods in our diet to get the amount of healthy fat that we really need. So that's why I believe supplements are really key to get, the most amount of healthy fat, or the amount that our bodies need on a daily basis. But healthy fats are key for hormone balance, and to make sure that our hormones actually function the way that they're supposed to in our body. You have to have healthy fat. And then the last thing in terms of diet is trying to eliminate some grains and sugar. We really should avoid any refined processed sugar really at all costs, because y'all, it turns on so much inflammation. It screws with your hormones. It can make them out of balance. But grains can do that as well. So if you're having issues with hormone balance, you may want to consider eliminating some grains from your diet and just see if you feel any different. Obviously try to eliminate the sugar. And I know that this is hard because I have a sweet tooth that's has been my weakness for years, but I have pretty much, not that I don't ever screw up and go back to eating sweets, but I've pretty much been able to conquer that. And if I get off course, I just go back to what I know, which is that if I eliminate those sugars, I feel a ton better. And then after a few days, I don't crave them anymore because sugar is so addictive. And I use my essential oils in my water, like grapefruit, that are really good for preventing sugar cravings. I can definitely tell a difference when I drink my grapefruit oil. So those are just kind of some things that you can do to try and kind of get off the sugar. And that'll help you with so many things, not just hormones. Okay, the next thing that we can do that actually positively affects our hormones is hydrate our body. Our body is about 80% water. We have to have proper hydration with just pure water. Now you can add essential oils to that. You can add fruit to flavor it, something like that. But half your body weight in ounces is ideal. That's kind of your goal of what you want to work towards. Maybe right now you don't drink any water and you drink 3 glasses of sweet tea a day. Then just start by replacing one of those glasses with a glass of water. And you'll start to notice that you feel so much better. You have so much more energy. It's going to help with your hormone balance. And then you just continue the process because you see the positive results. And next you're like, oh, I'm going to replace another soda or glass of sweet tea with water. And then it's just that gradual process. It's the daily habits that lead to the real progress and the lasting change. Now, other essential oils that you can use to flavor the water, because a lot of people don't like to drink water because it doesn't have any taste. Lemon gives you just a nice, gentle daily detox. So just a couple of drops of lemon essential oil in your water is great. I mentioned grapefruit for the sugar cravings, and then wild orange. Wild orange is extremely uplifting. It's energizing. And so that's another good one to add to your water. Okay, next, before we get to supplements, the last thing, we've got diet changes that maybe we need to start shifting and making, hydrating our body. And then it's really just daily movement, moving your body every day on a daily basis. Doesn't have to be some crazy form of exercise for an hour in the gym. It's just some movement, because our bodies were made to move. Our metabolism, our hormones do not function properly if we're not giving our body what it needs. And part of that is moving it every day. So really try and think of ways that you can incorporate it. You might just have to go for a walk for 10 minutes at lunch, which is great. You start there and then you just build onto it. Okay, now I want to move into the supplements. So where supplements are concerned, your foundation is going to be the Lifelong Vitality Pack. And that is this 3-pack, comes like this in 3 pills. And just briefly, I'm going to tell you what's in it. So first is your Microplex MVZ, or MVP, excuse me. This is just your vitamins, minerals, 12 servings of fruits and vegetables, so lots of antioxidants. Your body recognizes all of these ingredients, knows how to process them and break them down, which is the opposite of most multivitamins over the counter that you buy. They are full of synthetics, and so your body does not recognize that, and you don't even really get any benefit from it. So this is really key to have a high quality supplement. The next thing in this is your Alpha CRS, and this is the cellular complex. You just when you think of this, think of having really healthy cells. And if we don't have healthy cells, our hormones can't function and communicate with our organs in our body like they should. So really important is good cell health. And then the thing that I mentioned earlier that's in this pack that I love is this XE Omega. So this is a high quality, healthy fat that you need for the hormones to work properly in your body, to be produced properly, to be balanced, and to communicate in your body. You've got to have those healthy fats. So this to me is really foundational, not just for hormones, but really for everything, for metabolism, for energy, for decreasing pain in the body, decreasing inflammation. So you'll get huge benefits from taking this. And they actually give a 30-day money-back guarantee that if you do not have less pain and or more energy, doTERRA will give you your money back. And I've never had anybody send them back. Is there any way to identify synthetics in other supplements? Sometimes there will be some dye in them. I think you would have to look at, read every single ingredient on the label there. But the issue there too, Rachel, that's a really great question. The issue there too is that what is in the supplements that take, the vitamins and minerals, that they are high quality so that your body actually absorbs them and gets the benefit of the nutrients. But usually there's some kind of fillers in them. So you just kind of have to look at the label to see, what it shows on there, if there's any added fillers. But that's usually what it is that's in them. Good question. Okay. Now, there are 2 supplements that when I get my supplements in, y'all, I just dump them out into, it's like a tea box, and that's how I fill my daily containers. So I throw away the bottles is my point here. So I just wanted to show you, just for a visual, what these look like. So there is a phytoestrogen complex. So this is awesome, and this is actually, what the bottle looks like. So this is really a daily support to help balance and maintain normal estrogen levels. It contains antioxidant support. It is good for pre and perimenopausal women and also postmenopausal. So actually teenagers can start to take this 1 a day, and then you would just move to 2 a day, and then postmenopausal is continued 2 a day. But it helps to balance hormones. It helps with hot flashes, night sweats, some of the symptoms that you would get around that perimenopausal time. What was I going to say? Oh, and the thing that is super cool about this supplement is, remember I mentioned those xenoestrogens that are the bad estrogens that are like the false estrogens that the chemicals and toxins in our body mimic our normal estrogen? This phytoestrogen helps to decrease those. So it actually helps to eliminate those xenoestrogens, which is super cool. So we can actually get rid of those because we're never not going to be exposed to chemicals and toxins just in the world that we live in. Even as, eliminating cleaning products from our home, personal care products, using all natural healthcare tools like we're talking about here, you're still going to be exposed to toxins, unfortunately. So this phytoestrogen helps to rid our body of those xenoestrogens. Do these impact birth control? No, they do not. That's a great question. They do not. So they are safe to take. And also the Lifelong Vitality Pack is as well. And for anybody who is trying to get pregnant, the Lifelong Vitality Pack would serve as a prenatal. So it's totally safe as well. Good question. Okay. Now, the next thing is this bone and nutrient complex. So these come together along with one other oil blend I'll talk about in just a minute in a women's pack. But this bone and nutrient complex is really has basically everything you need to maintain healthy bones. So it has 100% of the required amount of calcium, magnesium, and then it has vitamin D2 and 3 because you have to have vitamin D in order for your body to absorb the calcium. Okay, if you don't have enough vitamin D and you take all this calcium, it's not going to work because you have to have the vitamin D in order for it to absorb. So I take both of these every day. I have been for years. I actually went through a phase where I was having a lot of hormone issues. I stopped having periods and I was having some other symptoms. This was about 4 years ago, and I had my hormone levels tested. They were normal. Nobody really could figure out what was going on. They thought I had a pituitary problem. I had an MRI of my brain. It was like this crazy. And then they decided I didn't, but never really gave me a diagnosis of why I was having these issues. So I just decided at that point that I would kind of do some research and create or look for a protocol that I could use on my own to balance hormones. And so that's what I did. So I started using these two supplements in addition to an essential oil blend that I made on my own, and my hormones regulated. I started having regular normal periods again. So it works, and sometimes I know that you have to have kind of firsthand experience for that, but these really do work. These are great. And they also help to balance mood because a lot of times hormone fluctuations, we get the kind of moodiness, so they really help with that too. Now, I thought I had my Clary Calm. I don't have that in here, but that's the roller that comes in the pack with the phytoestrogen and the bone and nutrient complex. It comes in a roller just like this. And it's a blend of oils that is excellent for hormone balance and for mood. And also, if it's that time of the month and you have cramps, you can roll it right on the abdomen and it really helps with the cramping. So what I do with the Clary Calm, I use it that way kind of as needed for cramping during that time of the month. But then I also roll it just right on my abdomen every night before I go to bed. I keep it on my bedside table and I roll it on my abdomen every night before I go to bed. And so that's part of my protocol for hormone balance in addition to the two supplements. Okay, next, stress reduction. Okay, so those are the biggest things. The Lifelong Vitality Pack, because you get all of that plus the high fats, the omega fats, fatty acids, phytoestrogen, bone and nutrient complex, and the Clary Calm. Now, because of all the other things that I mentioned that play into imbalancing hormones like stress, I want to give you some tips around things that you can use. And then we'll finish up with some specific oils that are good for different hormone issues. So I'll go into that in just a minute. My favorite oil, there are lots of oils for stress relief. Balance is a great one. Serenity is a great one. My favorite one right now, y'all, is this Magnolia. This is a new oil that comes in a pre-diluted roller bottle, and it was just released last month at convention. And y'all, it smells like sweet tarts. Oh my gosh, but it's very calming. The properties, the chemicals in it make it very calming. It's great for anxiety. It's great for relaxation. And so I like to just put this on all throughout the day, like at different points when I might be feeling stressed or anxious. I keep it in my purse typically, and I just roll that right on my wrist. And I like to do it on my wrist because then I can have the benefit of smelling it. Sometimes I'll also roll it right on my neck. But this is my favorite for stress relief right now. Peace is another blend that's really good as well, and has always been kind of a long time favorite of mine. Okay, next, we got to get good sleep, right? If we are not sleeping, then we're not going to have good hormone balance. You know, our metabolism's going to be off, our hormones are going to be unbalanced, and then we're going to get all of those symptoms, you know, the fatigue and all of those things that I mentioned right at the beginning of this class. So what are some things that you can do to help you sleep, some tools that you can use? I love to diffuse in my bedroom at night. I just put a few drops of an essential oil of my choice or a blend of my choice in the diffuser. My personal favorite is Serenity and Marjoram together. That's kind of always my go-to. Sometimes I switch it up, but that's typically my go-to. So I'll do 2 drops of Serenity and 1 drop of Marjoram and put that on the bedside table. I also love to use vetiver. Vetiver is kind of like there are kind of stages of sleep oils. Lavender is very mild, then Serenity, bergamot, marjoram, cedarwood, Roman chamomile, and then vetiver is kind of like probably what you would consider one of the strongest sleeping oils. But I like to put it on the bottom of my feet. So I do the marjoram and Serenity in my diffuser, and then I just put some vetiver right on the bottom of my feet, and it is like the best sleep. I don't wake up during the night. I feel totally rested, no kind of hangover, anything like that the next morning, and just feel really good. Now, sometimes people I find that if people are diffusing and using topically, but they just have had chronic sleep issues or just a really hard time sleeping, then we will add the Serenity soft gels. Serenity soft gels, it's just the Serenity blend, basically, minus the oils that you can't ingest the essential oil. But in the soft gels, obviously, they have all of the oils that can be ingested in there. And you take 2 of those about 30 minutes before you go to bed. And I typically keep those on hand for when we travel because, you know, if you go to a hotel room, you don't sleep as good. So I will use my Serenity soft gels and diffuse and use the vetiver topically when we travel. And then that works really well for me. But some people do need all 3 of those methods, internal, topical, and aromatic, every night. You could start with aromatic and then add on. Vetiver is amazing. Like, seriously, the first time I used it, I was like, woke up and I was like, where am I? What's going on? How long have I been asleep? And then I was just like, oh my gosh, it was just amazing. I felt so good. So 7 to 9 hours, that's what you want to strive for, is that 7 to 9 hours. And if you're like, I only get 6 hours now or 5 hours, just start moving your bedtime back by 15 minutes. Like 15 minutes is nothing to start moving your bedtime back, and then you're creating a habit and you're creating a routine that you can stick with. And you know, guys know that the nights that you get great sleep, you feel so much better the next day. So really try to make that a priority because that is huge for not just hormones, for so many of the health issues that we can have or that we have. Okay. Now, the other oils that I want to mention that are good for hormone support, and I'll tell you specifically what area of hormone support as we go through them. So the first one is ylang ylang. And ylang ylang is very flowery. It comes from the flower, but it's good for healthy libido. So this is one that you could apply topically every single day to help boost libido. You can also diffuse it. The next one is fennel. Fennel helps to maintain healthy estrogen levels, and it also helps to maintain healthy ovaries. So fennel is a great one to use topically as well. The next one that some people are kind of familiar with is clary sage. So clary sage helps to enhance the endocrine system, which is one of our hormone systems in our body, and helps to balance hormones. This one can be taken internally, topically, and also you can diffuse it. I would most likely use it the way that I did use it when I've kind of got my hormones in check, and I told you I had created, it was basically a roller bottle. I put several of these oils into a roller bottle, and I'd use it topically on my feet every night. And then once everything kind of got straight, my maintenance is the bone and nutrient complex, the phytoestrogen, and the clary calm on my abdomen. And so now that's all I do for maintaining that hormone balance. I had to kind of get everything back in check and balanced, and then now that's my maintenance. Geranium is another one that I included that is great not only for balancing the hormones, but geranium helps with mood, and it helps to balance emotions. And that's part of really a lot of the symptoms we see from imbalancing of hormones, right? Is mood and emotional issues. And then there's one other one that this one is my personal fave. I use it every single day for perfume, actually. And it's the women's blend. It's called Whisper is the name of it. And it's a blend of oils, but it actually stabilizes mood, and it helps to support the endocrine system. So I guess you would say I also use that one almost every day. In the morning, I put that on I love the smell of it, and I kind of just use it as perfume. I put it behind my ears, and I put it on my wrist. And it's one that kind of sticks around that you can smell throughout the day. It smells a little bit different on everybody because it mixes with your body chemistry, and it's an amazing smell. So those are kind of your main heavy hitting oils for hormones. And then the last thing I want to finish up with is what oils we can use for emotional balance. Because a lot of times, that's what we need is emotional balance. We need to stabilize our emotions, or we need to reach for something in the moment when we're feeling, whether it's stress, anxiety, just aggravation, whatever it might be. We're feeling down. Elevation is a great blend that is the joyful blend. And so that one helps to lift the mood. So if you were feeling maybe you get down and depressed or maybe you have, feelings of depression or whatnot because, you have a hormone issue, or even if it wasn't a hormone issue, Elevation would be a great oil to diffuse or use topically. Citrus Bliss is also super uplifting. So that one, I love diffusing Citrus Bliss. It smells amazing, and it really helps with those kind of down, dreary feelings. And then the last two are just great for balancing the mood, but also for calming and for anxiety. And those are Balance, which is the grounding blend, and also Serenity, which is the restful blend. A lot of people like to use those together, a combination. So a drop of each in your hand, the palm of your hand, rub it together. I like to, when I do this topically, I like to always just inhale so that I get the aromatic benefit of the oils, and then I apply them topically, usually, especially if they're ones that smell really good, like Serenity and Balance, then just kind of apply them topically to the back of your neck. Unless you have them mixed in a roller, then you could just roll it right on and then just right along your neck. I'm putting on some more Magnolia because I love it so much. So that's kind of ways to, oh yes, Jamie, thank you. Balance and Wild Orange is an amazing combination as well. I do keep that one in a roller in my purse. It's one of my favorites. So yeah, so guys, if you already have a doTERRA membership, you can add that women's kit on the Loyalty Rewards program to that. And that's just doTERRA's point system where you get points to use towards free stuff. You can add that, or if you don't have a membership, you can get started for $35, and that gets you 25% off of all the products. And it gets you access to our wellness community, which is an online resource tool, a private Facebook group where we do weekly education. We have lots of resources to help you learn how to use the products. And you can ask questions in there anytime, and you'll have tons of people answer you. It's just a very supportive community. So the membership will get you access to that, and you'll get the 25% off. So if this is something that you're like, my hormones are out of balance, I need help with this, then reach out to me or whoever invited you to this class, and we'd be happy to help you. We'd love for you to join our community, and I'd be happy, and I know whoever added you would also be happy to help you come up with a protocol that is just right for you and get everything, under control. And I would just encourage you that, if nothing changes, then nothing changes, right? I would just encourage you to think about that, because if we don't change anything now, what's going to be different in 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years? Nothing, most likely, unless it's something worse, right? Nothing's going to be changing for the positive. So just make that decision that you want to try something new that works with your body, that's not harmful, that, what do you have to lose, really? That's kind of how I looked at it when I got started 5.5 years ago. I was so skeptical at first. I was like, I don't know. I even had a personal experience using them one time, and I was still skeptical. But I thought, I looked into it. It's all natural. It's pure. It works with my body. Nothing harmful here. Why would I not try it? And the rest is really history. That was 5.5 years ago. So anyway, just want to encourage you guys you are important. Take care of yourself. Do things for yourself. Do things that are going to help you improve your health, because then you can better take care of everybody else, which is what women do, right? We take care of everybody else. So we have to take care of ourselves first. All right, guys, thank you for joining me at lunch. I know it's kind of an awkward time, but, and thank you for those who are watching the replay. But let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to help you. Y'all have a great Friday and a great weekend. Bye.